Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the call today. We're super excited that you're here with us just as everyone's joining. Welcome on in, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Today, Coach Heaven has a great teaching for you, so we're going to be hopping straight into it today. But welcome on in just as everyone's joining. I hope you guys are doing well so far. And welcome to everyone watching online. If you're seeing this live on Facebook, we invite you to hop into the Zoom room. We have, as I said, Coach Heaven has a great teaching for you today. It's going to be super exciting. But yeah, if you guys are new around here and haven't met me, I'm Matthew. I'm the production manager for Coach Heaven. And if you're new to Coach Heaven and just getting to know her, she's the founder of the Kingdom Sales Academy and the only one in the industry who's teaching how to uncover, unlock, and transfer belief to clients. She's a prophetic voice in the business space, a powerhouse sales strategist, and has helped Christian leaders grow businesses that are not only widely profitable, but also deeply aligned with their values. So super exciting. As I said, Coach Heaven has a great training for us today, and so really excited for that. Welcome to everyone who just hopped into the Zoom room. Hope you guys are doing well. We'll just go into some housekeeping, and then we'll get straight into it today. If you are in the Zoom room, we would love if you could have your cameras on just so you're present and ready to go. We'd love to see your face and just so you're ready to take action. Please be muted as well, and please be respectful. We want this to be a safe place for everyone here, so no disrespect to God or anyone else. In this call, we believe in biblical principles and serving God. And also, we will have a love seat at the end of the call today, and that is Coach Heaven's version of a hot seat, where one person will have the opportunity to ask Coach Heaven any question about their business, clients, questions, objections, anything like that. And so, if you want a chance to ask Coach Heaven a question, first, if you're seeing this online, hop into the Zoom room, and second, have your cameras on so you're ready to go for that. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to be hopping straight into it today. So I will pass it over to Coach Heaven.
Good morning. So, why is it that some creators make millions of dollars with a small audience and others stay stuck, even though they have thousands and thousands and maybe even a million followers? Because most people think the secret to making money online is more content. Has anybody thought that? Put me in the chat. More reels, more posts, more platforms, more followers. But here's the truth there are people with 20,000 followers or more making 5K a year. And there are people with 300 followers making a half a million or more a year. So the question becomes why are the second group doing so differently? Have you guys ever thought about that? And I'm talking about it today because I want to dive in as to what's really going on. The difference is not effort. The difference is architecture. Most people are posting content, but very few people are building a cash flow ecosystem. Today, I want to show you something that's really changed everything for me because when I scaled my business to my first million, I didn't have a website, right? Let that land. I didn't have ads. I didn't have a massive audience. But what I did have was intention. Somebody put intention in the chat. What I did have was a clear message, very clear message, and a system that turned content into conversations and conversions into clients. So today I want to show you the framework behind that. Not the step by step system, but the architecture that makes content actually produce cash flow. Somebody put cash flow in the chat. One of my mentors one time said to me, I'm going to help you be a micro celebrity. And I thought, what on earth is a micro celebrity? And he said, like you can afford to pay for everything and run the life that you really want. But when you go into Starbucks or you go somewhere, you're not being run down with people saying they want a photo or an autograph of you. Maybe you guys think that that would be cool. And if that's your aim, I may not be your person. But if you do want to know how to have a great life, to close the sales that are actually in your inbox right now, then I can help you. Most people believe content works like this, right? Like you have content, then you have followers, and somehow money shows up. But that is not the model that actually produces revenue. Followers are not a business model. Have you thought of that? Followers are not a business model. Followers are attention. And attention is not income, but it is the first way that prospects will pay is through attention. Attention is potential energy, and potential energy must be converted. So think about electricity, right? Electricity in a wire has power, but if it's not connected to a device, anybody ever have that? Nothing happens. That was me yesterday. I moved some desks around. I'm actually in my admin office today. I'm not in my normal office. And I was trying to get the stand up desk to go up and down. And come on, the real people in the room, be real here. And I'm pressing the button. I'm getting really irritated. But it wasn't plugged in. So it's not going to go up and down, Coach Heaven. Come on, real people. Right? I get like that with my kettle. I'm like, why is the kettle not boiled? And it's not plugged in. So we must be connected, right? Most creators are generating attention, but they don't have the conversion infrastructure. So the plug is the conversion infrastructure. Yesterday in one of my academies, we decided we're going to do, well, I guess I decided that we're going to do 100-day challenge of content. Can I get some fire in the chat? And so for 180 days, you're only going to post content that's part of the pillars of what you teach and nothing else. Once we start going outside, we think that everyone is watching everything we're doing. Anyone ever create a piece of content and you're like, oh my goodness, I couldn't possibly say that because yesterday I just said the same thing. Let me tell you something. Today, you could go and say exactly the same thing, go change your clothes, come back, say the same thing, and post it. And my guess is no one will notice. So I want you to understand that generating attention without the connector to a conversion system is not going to give you the results that you want. Most creators are generating attention, but they don't have the conversion infrastructure. So what happens is the energy dissipates. Anyone here gone into posting, real people, posting, and then you just hit like a burnout level. You go, okay, I've been posting so much, people are not responding. And then what happens? You withdraw for a bit. So content is not supposed to produce followers. Content's supposed to produce movement. And movement from unaware, so curious, to interested, to invested. So we want to go from curious to interested to invested. Where attention goes, intention follows. Where attention goes, intention follows. So you're giving your attention, and my pen is deciding not to be responsive to me today. Okay, so where attention goes, intention follows. So you're taking people from unaware to interested and then to invested. If content does not move someone closer to a transformation, it becomes entertainment. You may not think your content's entertaining. You may not be dancing on TikTok. But if you are not bringing people closer to a transformation, it will become entertainment. And entertainment does not produce premium clients because your people are not connected to you deeply. They're connected to you superficially, right? For example, if you watch something on TV or a TV show and your family member comes to you and says, tell me, like, what was the deep meaning of that? Your brain's like, I don't know. I was just unplugging for half an hour, right? Your people need to feel transformed in that 1-minute reel. And so a format that is staying consistent over and 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 over may feel boring for you, but boring makes billions. Put it in the chat. Boring makes billions. The consistency of posting and being true in your pillars of what you teach, not sharing about your uncle or your Aunt Thelma's in the hospital, or that you anything else. You don't share shared posts of other what other people share. You are diluting your authority. You're diluting your authority. So there are three layers of content that create cash flow. So inside Future Proof and the Kingdom Sales Academy, I teach that content is not one thing. There are three layers of content. Most people only create one, and this is why it's not converting. So the first layer is attention content. What is it? It's attention content. In this first layer, it's going to stop the scroll. So it's going to challenge some assumptions. It disrupts the way someone sees their situation. So if there's a disrupting of the pattern, your disruption, you are challenging assumptions. So think about what are some assumptions in your industry that you're challenging, right? If you're in the health industry, it may be around, so everything your doctor has been telling you is right, right? Stop the scroll. Somebody may think, oh, I need to have more leads, more leads, more leads, more leads. Let's stop the scroll by saying, followers does not equal cash flow. Boom. Their brain is saying, okay, that is something that I can stay on and listen to. Some other examples are, right? Your problem is not your niche. Or selling feels weird right now because you're not the person who sells. We want to challenge something. So what put it in the chat right now. What can you challenge? What are you challenging? To be honest, you are challenging something. This is why you got into the industry that you're in. You're challenging something. So number 2, the layer number 2 is authority content. So first one is attention, second one is authority. Your authority content. Well, what does that look like? Your authority content answers a silent question. Why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to you? You may be thinking right now, well, there's just so many people out there. There's so many people on social media. How can I capture the attention? It's by authority content. We want to communicate and connect with our people emotionally because they buy emotionally, but they back it up logically. And so once you're moving into the chat process, I have a process that shares how to connect and unlock people emotionally. But people back things up logically. Can I get a witness here? Anybody here bought something that you already know? You're like, man, that car looks good. Man, that whatever it is. But then you had to find a way to back it up logically. Okay. So your people are doing the same, right? Like right now, I've been telling you guys, I really want to get a Lincoln Navigator. I love the show The Lincoln Lawyer. You guys can make fun of me all you want. And it's not just because I ran a law practice. There's just something I really like about the guy in Lincoln Lawyer. You know, he speaks Spanish. He's really kind of, he holds space for people. So it's kind of unusual in the legal field. Anyhow, I am smitten with the Lincoln Navigator. And, do I really need one? Do I really need a Lincoln Navigator, right? I have 5 vehicles. I have 2 in the garage and 3 in my driveway. And it's just my husband and I and 1 daughter, okay? And so I don't really need one, but does our brain find reasons? Come on, guys. Is our brain looking, or is our heart looking? And people buy emotionally. So if you already made a decision emotionally about something, anybody ever married somebody or been in a relationship or something that you're like, this person makes me feel good. So I need to find some reasons to whatever, marry them or find the money if it's working with a client, find the money to work for them. So you're also looking for things logically. So if your content challenges them, stops the scroll, brings a level of authority with warm engagement. But if we have too much warm engagement, what happens? What happens if it's just like, hey guys, hey, it's Coach Heaven here. I was just kind of thinking and I really love. And you might have tons of followers, but are people going to put money where all their likes are, all the hitting the like button? Yeah, you wind up in the friend zone. So you have this friend zone, but at the same time, you're thinking, yeah, but I want people to, we got to connect. You do need to connect emotionally. So there is different parts here. 180-day challenge. If you guys are in, you don't have to be clients of mine right now. We're going to do a post in the Kingdom Millionaire around it, but 180 days, 2 reels a day, structured in the system that I teach. So I teach something called the SPIN model, where S is to stop the scroll. And so for 180 days, you're going to do 2 reels a day in your content with a hook and with a call to action. And your call to action is never like, if you would like to work with me. Those of you who haven't earned $1 million, there are things that you think are actual realities that you are delusional about. I love you. Can you guys feel my love? But you actually think that you just need more of the stuff you're currently doing, and then there's a magic button and you will close the sales. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, Kim's laughing. There is an entire process. But if you're seen as authority online and then people connect with you in voice messaging, in chat, what will happen to their brain? They're going, wait a second. She's got so much authority online. I've seen her talk about all the things. It all makes sense. Now, the way she's going about something, I am liking this. This is feeling good. She's asking me questions about what's important to me. She's speaking to my highest version of me. She's going over the obstacles and diagnosing without coaching. This is real authority. Can I get the witness for some people in the chat? Yes? Because I want you guys to know that there is a lot of people out there that are doing sell by chat and they are not doing it well. But if you unlock what is going on for somebody so well and you have the authority in your content, they are going to put the two together to make a decision that's logical and emotional. They see emotionally connectedness, but they really can back it up logically. Because all of us want to be able to rationalize buying the Lincoln Navigator, don't we? Yeah, I know it's $200,000, but please show me some logical reason why I need to do this. And for most of your people, if you are showing up as authority, they are going to see you. Because in authority content, it is the why should I listen to you? This is where you demonstrate insight. So in my spin method, insight is the third part. Insight. You are demonstrating wisdom. I have a new YouTube that was just recorded by my video team on the weekend, and it's going to be out, and it is fire. So I'll let you guys know when that comes out. And I share about what I'm prophetically believing will happen in the next season. Right? We have been through the agricultural age, we've been through the industrial age, we've been through the information age, we've been through the techno info age, we have been in the AI age, which is rapidly changing day by day, week by week. But I'm prophesying that we are going to be going into the transformational era, because information alone is not going to transform someone. So those of you coaches who are thinking, I better exit now and find another real job, you're wrong. Because without the application of wisdom and the iterations towards mastery, you're not going to be successful watching YouTube videos. You can look up everything: how to do the best content, how to do a 180-day plan. You could, right? Everybody here, you got me? We can all look up something online, but without a mentor to say, I see how you are being, how you are doing. And without iterations towards mastery of an application of information and wisdom, you will not be successful in the next era. So we have insight, pattern recognition, and wisdom. This is what shows authority and leadership. What are some ways you can be showing up more with more authority? Not by teaching steps, but by revealing truths that others cannot see. This is where credibility is built and this is the credibility economy we're in right now. People don't follow those who are the loudest. They follow those who see the clearest. Number 3. So that's number 2 is authority. Number 3 is conversion content. Conversion content is something that most creators are afraid of. It guides people towards a decision. This is why showing up with your pillars and teaching only on that. Now, again, you want to have like the way you look, the way you dress, the way your lighting is, the preparation. You want to have tone, you want the cadence. Like there's a lot that goes into this. I'm not denying that. But you are guiding people towards this decision. It's not manipulation or pressure, it is absolute clarity. Does anybody have that kind of friend in your life that, and I think I might be this kind of person to my friends, I hope, but when they need some clarity, when they need guidance for my clients, I know that I am, right? To my family, that you're that clear voice that cuts through all the noise, that wraps up wisdom with your information. Remember, we can look up anything online now. So if you do not have a spin on things, where your wisdom and the biblical principles are guiding your information, you can be replaced. But if it's your wisdom that you've learned and you've gleaned from your story of your life, right? When you help someone see like the real cost of staying stuck or staying sick or staying broke, the possibility of transformation, when you show them the role guidance plays in compressing time, right? Like at no time does AI or ChatGPT have a story they can share with you about their life. Come on. At no time they can say, and then nevertheless, God. At no time AI can come in and say, well, I just went through this thing and then I had this miracle and I saw this happen. I saw God move. I saw transformation in my family. When I did this, I saw. At no time will we ever see that. The purpose of conversion content is not to force a sale. It is to help someone see what they couldn't see alone. And if they feel that online, one-on-one, with you online, and then they see that again in chat, what is going to happen for them? They're going to begin to see that you're the one that can walk them over things. And once someone sees clearly, decisions become obvious, right? It becomes obvious to them. So information no longer sells. I want you guys to hear this clearly, right? With the AI, and we can look up anything at any time, information no longer sells. Years ago, we could easily have like, I know this thing and I'll send it to you. I have written this book about this thing when there wasn't the internet, right, guys? People could sell those things because other normal people, everyday people like you and I couldn't have access to that. But we're living through a massive shift in the whole world and online. For 15 years, the internet ran on the information economy. If you knew something, you could sell it. But AI has just made information almost free. Anyone can ask AI, like, how do I start a business? How do I build a course? How do I grow online? And within seconds, they have an answer. So if information is free, what are people paying for now? What are they paying for? Why would you hire a coach? Come on, guys, put it in the chat. Like, your brains may even be thinking that. I'm not that delusional. I've been considering lately, out of about 3 different other mentors, who do I want to help me in the next season? You have to be really clear about what your right next thing is. If you haven't learned sales skills, you may still be thinking that it's just more of what you're currently doing that you need, when you're going to be doing that for a decade and get to a place where you just, frankly, you're going to lose interest. If you're not seeing the reward from it, you will lose interest. Information answers questions, whereas transformation changes identities. The identity shifts require something AI cannot give anyone. It cannot give real leadership. Discernment. Come on, pattern recognition, guidance in moments of uncertainty. I certainly will not be asking ChatGPT what I should do with my life, and neither should you. And that's why the most valuable creators in the next decade will not be people who know the most. It will be the ones who can help others become someone new. You're in the business of helping others become someone new. This is not about modules and stuff. It's about the results you can help them get to. Because I know right now, I know for sure that if I have someone who is completely coachable, has sold before, believes in themselves, and is willing to create a high ticket offer, I know for sure that if they're in an audience and they have 3, 4, 500 people, they can close 20 at 50,000 or 50 at 20,000. They just get to decide how the numbers work with them. It's not about the number, it's about how you're communicating with your people. There's a bridge between content and clients. There's a bridge. Most people never cross it. This bridge here is conversion. We go from here to here. When you're only focused on buyers, you miss the opportunity to make them into believers in the way that you do things. How are some things that you do that are completely different than somebody else? Do you take in consideration of things? Are they curious about how you do things? You know, I'm speaking at a conference, I don't know when it is, it's in a month or somewhere in there. And it's all moms. It's all women and all moms. And how did you with 11 children be a breadwinner? How did you scale to $1 million with 4 kids, you're homeschooling banging on your door? There is something in each of you that you are doing both. And you want to be able to cut right through it and speak clearly to your person that they don't miss it for a second. Right? I'm probably not the coach for a 25-year-old guy who's single. Probably not. Although I have had the opportunity lately to minister to 2 young guys who came up to me for advice at a young adults thing. And so I think it depends on their hunger and their maturity, right? But that wouldn't be my target audience. Some of you are ignoring some of the juiciest, richest bits of your life. It doesn't mean you're to connect with a person who say you've had a terrible childhood. It doesn't mean you're going to look for clients that have had a terrible childhood. What are some of the skills that you learned from that season that connects you with people in a different way? Maybe they're missing some skills that you can also add in that you're going to teach and train and equip them. Do not leave any of your skills and the power of your story out of your offer. There are things in you that only you can teach your people. So the bridge is conversation. Content opens the door. I just want you to see that content opens the door, right? If you go into a beautiful, restaurant, or if you have an amazing husband like I do, he opens all my doors. He opens my door when I go into the car, when I come out of my car, when I go into a restaurant. Think of content as a gentleman like that. Content is opening a door. It's just opening a door. But do we like it when someone opens a door for us? Yes or no? Right? My daughter, one of the things she likes to do is if she's somewhere new, say like a youth group, and she feels a bit nervous around people, she has autism and ADHD, and she can feel a little bit like, I'm not sure what to do, but she's learned, like, if I'm not sure, there is nothing wrong with just going to serve. She'll go and just open the door for the 300 kids going through. And for her, she's just learned that, that feels good to me. And a lot of people later come back and say, that was really sweet of you. Are you guys with me? Content is a sweet way for people to have an introduction to you. So don't miss the moment. If you are talking about things that are nonsensical or something that somebody can look up online, they're not going to follow you. So look for your spin on it. Conversations create transformations. Inside those conversations, three things happen. Clarity happens. When somebody you start to content opens a door, and then now, so those of you who thought there was a button that people clicked and said, "Oh, now I'm buying," please don't be so naive. Sales, and there's so much training on sales because it is the one skill that'll make sure that you are never broke. And this sales process starts with a conversation. So here it is. There's all kinds of things you have to overcome with somebody in the process. And of all the skills you can learn online, having a content plan that connects people to conversations and then learning how content doesn't sell. Everyone understand that. Content makes selling easier. Just like if you were to walk into a restaurant and somebody holds the door for you, if you go into the restaurant together and he says, "May I go ahead of you because I'm late to meet my wife and it's our anniversary?" Would you let him go ahead if he just closed the door on you and didn't open the door for you? So he ran ahead, opened the door, closed the door in your face. You both went into the restaurant and he says the same thing to you as, "May I go ahead of you because I'm late for meeting my wife?" Or if he goes to the door and he opens the door for you and you both go in, which one do you think your heart is more receptive to letting him go first? Obviously, he holding the door. Content is that door. Does this help you guys, your brain to, I need images to put everything to link things together. Then the sales process, this feels hard when you don't have skills. There's so many permutations and combinations, but it can be learned, right? When you're a kid, you don't go, "Oh my gosh, riding a bike looks like there's so many things I'm just not going to learn." Oh, driving a car just seems like too much work. I'm not going to get the skill set. Sales are the same. So, three things happen inside of these conversations: there's clarity, there's possibility, and there's commitment. And we want them to go through all those stages. With clarity, you help someone articulate a problem they never clearly expressed through Socratic questioning. If you're not asking questions, you're not actually learning about somebody, you're pitching. Secondly, is possibility. If you help someone articulate a problem they've never clearly expressed, maybe they've had little bits of words and now they're just starting to put it together. Like, I know many of you think you have more time than you think you have. Many of you think, "Oh, I'm just going to get this," which is a little bit arrogant. Like, I know I'd rather buy my solution through a transformation through somebody else than me go around the mountain trying to figure it out. When I figured out how to scale to six figures in 90 days, when I was doing it, I didn't know I was learning how to create something for people. When I scaled to my first million, I didn't know I was learning a system. I was just like, "I'm going to figure this out." But why would you go through 5 or 10 years when you can pay someone to walk you through the iterations towards mastery in a compressed time frame? Think about the things that are the most important to you. And what is it that you really want to see happen in the next decade? What are some ways you can compress that time frame? Right? Experience is always the best way to learn, but it's the most expensive, guys. You may not think it's the most expensive, but we only get certain moments in time. And we don't get that back. Time is way more valuable than money. Way more valuable than money. So we have clarity, we have possibility, we have commitment. Commitment, they decide whether or not they're going to move towards the future. Because I want you to see, if somebody says, "No, I'm not willing to invest X amount of dollars for you to collapse a time frame and help me get this result, I'm going to go through all the mistakes, all the learning, all the problems, then I'm going to research it, then I'm going to go to YouTube, then I'm going to practice it, and it's going to suck and it's not going to work, and I'm going to stay stuck. If I know that I can pay somebody any amount of money and I get a 10 times return, why would we not do it? Normally, we don't do it because we have not had, we've never just had the experience. We've never had somebody who's done it before. We don't know anyone who does it. I don't have any of my friends. They have no concept of the life that I live. I have a friend who recently retired from her work. She's about 10 years older than me. And but I don't think that's why she retired. I think she just had burnout in the school system, and because she's not old enough to retire. But she said, I want to come and help you do some work at your house because she knows I have people that help me. And I said, okay, that would be wonderful. What do you think you could do? And she shared. And then last week she couldn't come, and then this week she said, oh, let me know when I can come and chat with you, and you can show me all the things to do. Guys, some of you are avoiding this conversation because it's uncomfortable. And I said to her, I really love you, this person, and I'm happy to spend a day when I have time off with you. But I wouldn't be able to show you those things. I have somebody that would show you all the things that you are to do. Some of us don't want to leave comfortable. We don't want to leave and show up with authority because it's not the person we were 20 years ago. And it might offend the people that think that we're still like that. You've got to be willing to let go of that. Say goodbye to your old self because your sales come from you stepping into the newest version of them and yourself. You've got to be willing to let go of that. Most people skip conversations. This is part of the error in your mind. You may be thinking it's leads, it's only content. Content will lead to cash flow if you have a cash flow creating system. Once content opens the door, content's a gentleman who opens a door. You can decide how you're going to shape that, how it's going to look. Is it going to be a lazy gentleman who kind of half opens a door? Or are you going to graciously open a door that people go, wow, she is smart, but more than that, I think she knows what she's talking about and she can take me to somewhere I've never been. Are you guys going to the transformation era with me? I'm not going alone. We're going to step into this transformation era and not get sidetracked to think that AI is the boss of us. Many people want to replace relationship with automation. Hear me. If you do not have a proven system in relationship connections and conversations and sales, no amount of automation is going to work for you. No amount. Because you will not know how to unlock. This is unlocking the currency of your client. They are in pain. They need clarity. They need possibility. They need commitment. In their commitment, they are going to change. If you pay a lot of money for something, do you take care of something better than if you get it for free? Yes or no? If there's no skin in the game, you don't manage things as well. I've shared this before and I will never do it again. But many years ago when I first started, I gave out 2 scholarships to people to be able to attend my academy, and I will never do it again. Because people who did that were the least, they didn't show up at all. They didn't do the work. And if you think you're going to do the work and you don't pay for something, you're totally delusional. And if you allow people into your world without them paying the price, you're setting yourself up for a nightmare. People who pay attention. It's the truth. So people try to replace relationship with automation, but premium clients rarely buy because of a funnel. My first million in sales, I had no funnel. I unlocked what was important to people so well. I had no Facebook ads, no funnel, no website. I unlocked what was important to them so well, and I walked them through a transformation they wanted. Boom, that's it. They buy because they feel three things. Write them down. They feel seen, they feel understood. This is why your content, if it's not clear, they're not going to trust you enough. They're not going to believe that you're the person, even if you're doing it. They need to feel seen, understood, and guided. This is something that AI cannot do. It can't see you, it can't really show empathy to you, which is why questions are one of the most powerful tools in sales. Questions uncover what matters to someone. And once you know what someone truly values, the conversion changes completely. So I want you guys to understand that I'm not just talking about doing things without AI. I'm not talking about doing things without a system or structure. I'm sharing that if you don't know how to have conversations and connect emotionally and ask questions, you're not going to know how to put that on repeat. Everyone understand that until you've closed $25,000 sales on repeat. If you have an audience, you have sales. You just have to learn the skill, right? It's like if we had a big field and I said, underneath this field is oil, and you just stared at the field, you watch YouTube videos about the field, you need a mechanism to drill down into the field and get the oil. Can I get a witness? So if we don't do that, we're not going to actually have it. So I love to be able to offer a quick love seat to somebody, Matthew, around your content, around the issues that you may be having in it. Um, Again, the purpose of your content is to open a door to sales. Let's go ahead.
Awesome. All right. So as we said in the beginning, if you have a question, you can raise your hand, and we do ask that if you could have your camera on, that would be amazing. So you can just go ahead and raise your hand, or I can pick someone as well. All right. I think we might bring up Lori Brown then. Would love to give you an opportunity to ask any questions.
Hi, beautiful lady. How are you?
I'm on the right side of the ground. I can't complain.
That's so good. Okay, how can I help you today?
Well, I mean, going back to my content, so I need to do 2 reels a week, focusing in more on authority in
Two
my,
reels a day.
did I say a day or a week?
You said a week. Two
I
reels a
meant a
day.
day. Yeah.
Yep. And
Focusing,
yep.
okay.
Focusing on authority, following my spin method,
Okay.
and leaning into, showing up so that your people have something that they go, man, that was brilliant, right? Like they stop the scroll, they learn a truth, they have some insight, and you call them into your next thing. What do you feel like, or guys, again, it's better to ask somebody who's watching your content, right? Like, don't have an ego in this. When I create things, I run it by other people, and if they're like, that really sucked, or that was what it, right now, again, there are some times it's kind of like your meal plan. Can I get a witness for any moms, right, Lori? Right, like if you guys have ever made a dinner plan for anybody, there are some times in the week it's not as exciting as others. Can we get a witness here? There might be like, okay, Leanna, it's once around the kitchen night, whatever leftovers we got, that's what we're having tonight. Saturday we might do something all fresh and new. Okay, it's similar in the sense of when you're looking at some of your content, because you have pillars in your business. What are your pillars, right? For me, it's attract, it's convert, it's delivery system, and it's scale. So I'm constantly looking at, in all of my, with my clients, like, what is their member marketing? Is it content's a door? Content's a gentleman who opens a door to sales. That's it. It's not where you click and there's a sale that happens. There isn't this, oh, this short way of doing it. Conversion is really my hub, because most Christians don't realize how understanding how to unlock the sales, right? If you can have a small audience and make lots of money, who would like that? Be a micro celebrity, like my coach said to me. And then delivery. We do need to how to like deliver what we're teaching in a group coaching format, right? It has to be with excellence. Once you have these three things working well and you've scaled to, somewhere between 50 to 70K months, then you're ready to scale. There is no scaling before then, guys. There's no automation before then because you haven't had enough revenue and enough proof of concept, minimum viable product to then put it on repeat. I wouldn't want you sending out something, Lori, on, I teach a system of unlocking through emotional questioning as well as anchor messages that unlock people emotionally. Now you guys know I'm doing the AI of this as well. I've created the Sales Boss Suite AI myself, and I'm creating Revenue Finder for all my clients so that they can unlock things automated once they've got a sweet system where they're closing those sales already. But if you don't know that those sales close, right? What I would recommend is if you're doing your reels 2 times a day, that we drill in right now, like what is one thing that you don't feel like you are connecting with your people about? Thank you, Leanna. What is something you don't feel like you're connecting about, Lori, with your people? Where is there a
Um,
cognitive dissonance or a disconnect, or right? What is the response? Are you getting
but
response from people?
I think the biggest thing is going to be the deception in the health industry.
Right. Well, there's tons of things, guys. Like there's no shortage of content. I want you guys to see this. There's no shortage of content. Right. So maybe there's a deception in the health industry, right? There's a deception in the financial systems. There's a deception in the education system. But if you are not clear as to what the frequency of the song that you are singing to your people, if you think of it as music, right? All of us have had kids who play the recorder, want to jump out of a window and not stay in the house for 2 seconds more. Content can have the same feeling. Maybe your person doesn't care about the deception of the health industry, Lori. Maybe your person really only cares about what's going on for them right now. So we want to make sure that we don't have a disconnect as to what's going on with our person. What the people that have bought from you, Lori, what do they say is the biggest problem? And it has to be somebody who's paid money, guys. If someone hasn't paid money, do not take in all of their advice.
One of the biggest things that I hear is that doctors aren't helping, and that's why they
Wow.
come to me.
Right.
Um,
So a doctor isn't helping. What outcome do they want more than anything?
to be able to resolve whatever their health situation is.
Right? They want it resolved. And what system or method can you make that becomes an intellectual property that sets you apart as the authority in your industry?
That goes back to systemic detoxification.
Right? But if you say that, it doesn't sound like something anybody wants to get into. It sounds like work, right? Come up with something where you have a system, right? So maybe the system is that they have this detoxification happen. You got everybody following me. All of you have this who's listening. You all have something that you call it something, but that is a process.
So could the system be detox, boost, neutralize?
No, listen to me. Guys,
Okay.
you're all missing this. Those are all process words.
Okay.
Your person pays for your system based on one thing only: pay off. They want their life back. You have the trademarked the life back program, Lori. We're not calling it the systematized gut neutralizing. Guys, it sounds like work. No one's buying your work. No one's buying homework. You're selling a payoff. You're not selling a process. People buy for one reason only, because they want to, and because you are bringing them something that nobody else will. I'll tell you the difference between my clients who pay me 10,000, my clients who paid me 200,000. You want to know what the difference is? The person I'm on the call with who pays me 200,000 does not say to me, "Oh, goodness, you've solved my problem in 3 minutes. Maybe we could just sit here and stare at each other for the next 57 minutes of our call." The person who paid me that kind of money goes, "Thank you that you just bought my life back, because time is way more valuable than money." And they say, "I'm getting off this call and I am going to implement." Everybody put implement in the chat. If you all implemented on every single thing, it's the holiotizing and dreaming about the best reel ever and thinking about, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, that stops you from doing your 14 reels a week. That stops you from doing your 1 hour YouTube that is consistently uploaded every week to solve the biggest problem. Lori, you have a mission. Just like I'm starting a mission. I told you guys yesterday. I'm starting a mission called Leaving 97. I'm going to have a book called Leaving 97. We're going to have a podcast called Leaving 97, because people need to know, well, what does it mean to leave 97? What could you call your, instead of saying you're going through a systematized gastronomical infrastructure of whatever, what could you call it? What could you call it, Lori? Where your person goes, "I want in." I don't know what Lori's, I don't even know what she's doing, but it's your 90-day get your life back. And then you talk about it from that standpoint. We don't have to say all the things, right? We know there's work. Anybody joined a fitness program lately? I know my trainer is going to beat the crap out of me. Don't tell me about that. Just tell me about the payoff. Tell me about how I'm going to have so much more energy than any woman my age. When my daughter had her baby in the hospital a couple weeks ago, I was holding that baby to my chest. And somebody came in who worked in the hospital. And they walked right up to where I was. And they said, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you be liking dinner today?" And I was like, why is he asking me if I want dinner at a hospital? Then it occurred to me that he thought I was the mama who just gave birth. Come on. I want you guys to see that you got to start seeing everything differently. The problem isn't that you got this like magical thing to go through. It's that you're not seeing differently. You're not seeing what's in the garden. You're not seeing the possibility. You're focusing you're focusing on outcomes that aren't favorable for you. You're focusing on anxious thoughts. You're focusing on, I did this one thing and nobody responded. What if I tell you, Lori, that the sale comes from the continual connection in audios that bring your person up where the air is rare, that you see them in a position that no one else in their world right now does. They have everyone in their world right now, Lori, doing what? They're bringing them down. They're saying, why don't you do this and go to the doctor and get some medication, and you should go on disability. And you were saying your life is just about to change. Your possibilities. You're going to step into something with clarity, and you're going to be the person that you've always wanted to be. They don't want to get well just so you can be freaking well. They want to be well because they still have dreams, and those dreams are going to die with them if they don't get the help from Lori. They are never going to be the person that God has called them to be without stepping into the payoff that only you can give. Remember, it's the payoff, not the process. I love you guys. We'll chat again soon. Pass it over to Matthew. Blessings, Lori.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Coach Heaven, for that amazing time. So yeah, that's going to be all for today. So thank you guys for being here, and have an incredible rest of your day.